right, so in this video, we're going to dive into the market profile and STR insights and how you can use it to find awesome areas within markets to invest in and eventually find great deals. So let's dive into it. Awesome. So in STR Insights on the left-hand side, there's a tab called Market Profile. So you'll see the default is set for New York City, and you'll see a search bar here. In this search bar, you can search any market across the United States to find the market that you're looking for and the data you're looking for. So let's go ahead and type in a random market. We'll use an example. So we're going to use Gulf Shores, Alabama. And I type in Gulf Shores, it comes up, and it's going to load here. Now, sometimes we have there might be multiple names that appear for the same market. So if you select, because, like a St. Augustine versus, the spelling St. Augustine, or St. George, Utah versus like Saint, S-A-I-N-T. So if you see that happen and you load a certain market profile and there isn't a lot of data, check to see if there's an alternative name. They've all kind of been brought into the same names, but there are occasionally some multiple names for the same area, so be careful of that. Also, remember too that we're looking and basing everything off zip codes, and those zip codes correlate with the literal name of that city or town or market. So it's not a region. So for example, I'm thinking of Red River Gorge in Kentucky, if you've ever heard of that before. Red River Gorge isn't a town, it's a state park. So, or Hocking Hills State Park, for example, in Ohio, that's probably a better example. There isn't a market called Hocking Hills. It's Logan, Ohio, or there's Stanton or Campton or Rogers in Kentucky. So these aren't regions or market names like Red River Gorge or Yosemite National Park. It's the individual town. So remember that as you're trying to find the markets you're looking for. If you can't find something, reach out to us and we can help you find it. It's going to be in this tool, okay, in the market profile. So once you're in the market profile, you'll see a couple things. Obviously, a big map with red boundaries. Remember, this reflects zip code boundaries inside of that particular market. And you can select individual zip codes if you like. So this data here is an aggregate of the zip code data, okay? So if you select an individual zip code, it's going to break it down by that zip code. And if you remove that zip code, it's going to show for all zip codes in the market. Okay, now remember, if we don't have the valuation data for that individual market, you're only going to see revenue data. You won't see average ROI, but you will see something. So if I select individual zip code and we don't have any individual valuation data for that tiny zip code or whatever zip code is selected, this will show you no data available. However, there are properties here that are available that you can use to study that market out. So don't panic if you don't see no data, or if you see no data available. You can clear the zip code and then boom, the data is there. If you search a very small market with 3 or 4 listings, there's not going to be a lot of data, okay? Obviously 3 or 4 listings, but you can see the listings. And you can actually go here and see how it says 4 bedroom, 4 bath, revenue. Oops, we'll go over back this guy. There we go, click it again. Here we go. Revenue, occupancy, ADR, average daily rate, that's what that means. The rating, and then the link onto their Airbnb or VRBO. You can click into there and it will take you to that page. Okay, so, and then you can also select this thing too that says See Profile. All right, so if I was looking for a particular property and I found it, I can actually click See Profile to see how much revenue they made on a monthly basis. This is a really powerful tool, and it will go all the way back to January 2023 as of today, which is in the end of February of 2025. Now, if a property is relatively new, it will go back to when we started collecting that data. Okay, so it's really important. So if you don't see January 2023, it's not the end of the world. It's just back to when we started collecting the data for that particular property. And if there's a VRBO link, it'll say Airbnb and then VRBO, and you can click. It'll take you to the VRBO page. Okay. You also have the option to export properties. What this does is it actually downloads a spreadsheet of all of the properties listed here. Okay, if you filtered by 3 bedrooms, it downloads a spreadsheet of the 3 bedrooms that you have done inside of these boundaries. If I scroll out, let me do this, and pick up more properties, it'll export those. If I scroll in and only do a particular section, it will only export the properties in that section that I'm viewing on this page. Okay, so once you've downloaded that, inside of that sheet, let's open that up. Okay. It's going to look like this. I'm going to bring this over if I can, if it'll let me. Come on now. Here we go. Okay, so this is really cool. So we've got obviously the listing, and it's going, so it's got all the properties here, the number of reviews, their ADR, their occupancy, how old the listing is according to our data. And then you have your amenities. And look at all the different amenities we have. We have hot tubs. We even have, TVs larger than 55 inches. Do the properties have that? True or false? Outdoor furniture, pool table, all different types of amenities. You can check it out and use to understand which ones have which. You can sort by revenue and then filter out the properties that don't have particular amenities or do have particular amenities for your analysis. Okay, so once you've done that, you can then come back to the tool. We also have the revenue percentile slider. This is really, really important. So you are not seeing right now all the properties in the market. Okay, you're seeing the properties in the 75th percentile based on revenue performance or higher. If I want to see more properties, I can move to the left, which shows me the 50th percentile or higher. Now, this is something that's really important. If you try to compare this number to what you see on Airbnb for Gulf Shores, it's not going to be the same number. And the reason why is because Airbnb shows you the number of properties based on a region rather than an individual zip code. So remember, our data is focused on zip codes, whereas Airbnb is just a general region, and it might pick up other markets and other zip codes. So this number is going to be significantly lower than what you'd see on Airbnb. Number two, we only show investor-friendly properties, meaning people who aren't just renting their properties out for the summertime only or for, a couple months out of the year while they live there the rest of the year. These are properties that are full-time short-term rentals. So we will naturally filter out the other ones. So you're not going to see as many properties as you might think there are. All right. Finally, we're only showing the 50th percentile and above. So there's a whole bunch of other properties that aren't being shown here because they might be newer. They might have just come online last month or the month before, and it would skew the data down to what the true market averages really are. So those are a few reasons and why you might see a limited number of properties in a particular market, even though you might know that there's more. They might not be all within a year, and also investor-friendly properties as well. So keep that in mind as you're looking at this. Okay, now as you move this slider, obviously numbers will change. The number of properties will increase or decrease. And you can select different bedroom counts if you want, or just see all properties. We also have this cool thing up here too for regulation. Sometimes if you click on it, it will take you to the site of the market's regulation, like their government website, so you can actually see the regulation. But at the end of the day, always go to Google or whatever search engine you use and actually look it up and verify, because this data is only updated every few months. Okay, so always do that due diligence on your end. Don't just rely on what's here in STR Insights. It's there to be helpful, but it's not the end-all be-all. Always double check. Okay, so in the profile, we've got these tabs here. We've already gone over. We've got the export, the zip codes, the bedroom counts. This is an excellent place to start and really dive into certain pockets and neighborhoods that might be performing really well and to see the different percentiles within this. So I hope you found this video helpful. And once again, if you have questions about using the market profile or you see some conflicting information on here, please reach out to your account manager or our support, and we'll be able to assist you with this.